Probably shouldn't have, because that knocked out blessings.
That's knocking blessings at the same time. But at the end of the day, like, you're not supposed to mess with nobody how they supposed to eat, bro. Like, this is my job. This is her job.
Now I wake up. Trying to damage our relationship. You try to
damage our relationship with other people. That, you know what I'm saying, that not once. Like, signing to Suge Knight on the death row. We was signed to death row.
No. All right. So in this clip, that was cute. We were signed to Suge Knight, death row, or whatever. So the reason why that comparison was, and it's funny, King, you are a very good actor. I'm very proud of you. Your skills. What I was saying before the camera cut off is that I'm very proud of you, King. Your skills have come a long way with the whole acting and everything. Like how, you know, that was real good because of the fact how you talking about Suge Knight. That was a joke in the group because when we were supposed to do a tour, you know, the question came up about who was going to pay for it. And I said, okay, now we can do one or two things. Either one, you guys pay for it, or two, I pay for it. And if I pay for it, it's not going to be Janay paying for it. It's going to be Suge Knight, meaning that I'm going to collect my money. So that's what that joke was. It's just funny how they said it like it was just such a brand new thing. That was the joke in the group about me being Suge Knight when it was time for me to collect my money for different things that I didn't pay for. So that's what that was. But now, this is when this all starts to make sense, right? Now, I'm gonna play Nique's clip first, and I'm gonna let her go ahead and half read this message. And after she half reads this message, I'm gonna go ahead, post the real conversation, and then I'm gonna come back and, you know, I'm gonna explain to you what that message was. And then all of this stuff, when I've been saying wait for it, all of this stuff when I told you how that date was on purpose, all of this stuff, these text messages, half of them that they put out, and all of this stuff, how everybody's trying to figure out, why is everybody tripping? Why did everybody all of a sudden fall out? When this message is read, it's gonna make so much sense. Here we go.
Like I said, I was angry that day, and I take my lick in for any other comments that, you know, that I had said about her mom. And I texted her, I said, I truly had a long day of anger and hatred in my heart. I found myself blaming you, but it's not about you. Explaining I felt betrayed by your mom. And since that's your mom, I was angry at you. I don't know why, but I didn't take the time to think about it either. I know you probably won't reply. I just wanted to tell you that I am genuinely sorry for my actions. It was amazing knowing you and being able to help each other grow. Thank you for always supporting us. Now she said, hey, I wasn't going to reply at first because I was angry after King called yelling at my mom and then calling me just going off, not even trying to talk to me. It made me beyond upset. What really made me upset is because it was mentioned that you and King never messed with me in the beginning and unlinked because y'all never liked me. And that was the only reason, the only way from getting away from working with me was to unlink and stop being associated with me. So she said,
Oh, that's what she said?
Yeah.
That is so crazy how she flipped that, how her mama just flipped it, because her mama was telling me other stuff, telling us stuff out of 14 lists. Things out the... Bro,
she said the only reason I heard
it... Listen. I know y'all probably ain't gonna...
That, she thinks because she got signed with Rich the Kid, she thinks she all that now. And I told her stop acting like that. So we like, what you got? What you mean? She was like, I told her stop acting funny with y'all because she been changing since she signed with Rich the Kid. So that's what her... So that was it.
That was it.
I text her a message, she didn't reply.
All right, so in this part or whatever, this text message, now you read part of it and you heard her say it, but that's not how this went. So let's go ahead and start from the beginning because it's a lot. It says, I've truly had a long day of anger and hatred in my heart. I found myself blaming you, but it's not about you. Slaining, I felt betrayed by your mom, and since that's your mom, I was angry at you. I don't know why, but I didn't take the time to think about it. It's either I know you probably won't reply, but I just wanted to tell you that I was genuinely sorry for my actions. It was amazing knowing and being able to help each other grow. Thank you for always supporting us. Now, this was definitely one-on-one damage control. So that means that they was paying attention to some of the stuff that I said. When you mess up a situation and you know that situation can come back and bite you in the butt, fix it. Don't let it get out of hand. Go ahead and address it. Be honest. Make the apology. Be sincere. And so that way, hopefully, you can mend the situation. Now, this text message came after Nique and her friends was live or whatever, and something was said, woo, woo, woo. It's really that important to me. What's important to me is that you listen to Nique. She says, oh, well, she sent the message and thinking that everything was okay. And then all of a sudden, a video drop talking about, people text messaging and stuff, or whatever, their apologies, because now they're getting bashed. Nique automatically assumed that the video was about her. The video wasn't about her. When she talked about people hitting her up and apologizing and stuff, it wasn't just you, Nique, that text her. It was everybody that posted them tweets, them Instagrams, and people that didn't post it, hit her up. Because of the fact, I don't know. Maybe it was because Team Airi came out strong. I don't know. But for whatever reason, everybody that sent out messages text her and apologized and said that it wasn't her, it was me. So that was just the guilty conscience that made you think that you were the only one. It wasn't you. It was just the timing. You figured it was you because that's when you guys had did the whole little live situation. And the message you see where she says that I know you're not going to reply, because again, this confirms the thing that Airi don't get caught up in drama. She don't even participate in it because of the fact it's fruitless. Like, you don't get anything out of it but a he said, she said stuff. So this was damage control because Airi wasn't supposed to reply to it, but she did reply back, and this is what she said. See, it's a point in this where King stops her from talking, and the reason why he stops her from talking, because the next couple of messages, that's where the real information come in at, not in this was the cute little friendly messages. Then it gets into some more like for real stuff or whatever. So let's read on. So then it says, not my mom. That is important. That is super important. That, because you see what King said, he was like, oh, because that's what her mom was telling me, and da. No, it wasn't. That was a nice way to tell her stop reading. So it says, not for my mom. And the only reason I heard it was because I was eavesdropping. I just think we should talk before it gets more out of hand, right? So now her message comes. She says, us on Lincoln had nothing to do with you. It was your mom. After she told us it wasn't about the business, it was the personal relationship, we told her that we had no problem with her and that we just wanted to not work on business level anymore because we felt that we wanted to grow and try new things, and we wanted a manager that only worked with us and had time to please us and give us what we asked for. We did ask your mom why you were so distant. She said, I told her to stop treating you like that. She got with Rich the Kid and forgot who helped her, etc. And what we did tell her is that we feel like her main focus is you, and we understand that because you're her daughter. We never told anyone that we unlinked because of you. That was a force of the century. I'm mad because he told the boys because she told the boys that we was gonna be nothing without her, and we was gonna never make it. And she told Corey that we was trying to use him and tag along. She told him he don't need us and that we snakes. Explain feelings was her. I'm thinking she's explained feelings was hurt because he felt like he was close to her, but that was our only problem, not you. Now here we go. This is when all of this drama is gonna start to make sense to you, because one of the things in this message or whatever, when she said, let me go ahead and address this whole thing about me saying that they was never gonna be nothing. That's not what happened, King and Nique. You know that's not what happened. Because when you FaceTime me, the first thing I said to you all is that, listen, you know, because I asked you, why did you want out? And you was like, you know, you just sick of asking people to work with y'all. Y'all sick of this, y'all sick of that. That 15 things that was on the list. But one of the things that I told you, you brought this up when we were talking, and you was like, well, yeah, the boys, you know, they came back and told us that you said that we wasn't gonna be nothing without you and that we wasn't gonna make it. You know exactly what I told you, because I told you and Nique to your face a while ago. This is manipulation, folks. When you all keep saying people twisting words, this is manipulation. You guys automatically, and I'm just talking to the few of the negative people that keep thinking that, oh, because you're older means that you're wiser and more cunning and more sneaky. No, when you're younger, it seemed like, you know, you ain't got nothing to lose, so you don't mind telling these lies and destroying people's lives, or, well, attempting to destroy people's lives. You have no problem with doing stuff like this, and then when things come back on you, then it's, oh, I'm young, I didn't know no better, you took advantage of me. No, 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 no. Because right here, this is where y'all messed up at. This is why you should have never brought out text messages. Let me tell you something, people, those of you that are not, you know, like mature enough, because age ain't got nothing to do with it. There's a whole bunch of people that's older that make, you know, but for those of you that might not be able to process stuff, you know, the right way, when you start a conversation and you open up a conversation and it's the ability for the other part of the conversation to be brought out, you better make sure you tell that whole story. And you better make sure you don't leave no holes, because guess what you do? You leave it open for the other person to come fill in the gaps with the facts that you didn't put out. And the reason why you all didn't read the rest of this message is because of the fact you knew once it was read, that was it. But you all were banking on the advice that I always give you and I always give her. Don't address it. Don't say nothing. Let it ride. But you all went too far. So it was no reason, there was no way to not address this. You all went too far. And so in this message, when you say that I told you all you was never gonna make it, King and Nique, I looked you all in your face and I said, listen, that's why I said start the Johnson family. Y'all didn't come up with that. Everybody I have worked with has started a family channel or additional channel, because that is the advice that I give them. Have 2 to 4 channels. And that was something I learned from Damien and Bianca. Let's just call it what it is. And that's why Damien and Bianca win, because of the fact he makes sure that it's a consistent stream of income. But anyway, that is another issue for another video. I got a little sidetracked. But that's the reason why I told you all to do the Johnson family, because of the fact I said that channel, Nique and King, will not survive without JQCG. And the reason why it won't survive without JQCG, not because y'all not talented enough, not because y'all not working, but because it was built around JQCG. So if you get rid of JQCG, it's gonna affect your views. That's what I said. That's what I said to you, to your face, and that's what I said to the group when we all met. See, this is where y'all really messed up. Y'all forgot your crew wasn't the only ones in that meeting. Yeah, my other adopted kid, yeah, Vaughn, part of the great ones, he was here too. Yeah, y'all forgot because he was just sitting on the couch quiet, didn't say nothing. Y'all forgot. So Chris, Key, Rail, Austin, DC, whoever out of that circle that went back and said something to King, you all forgot that Vaughn was sitting right there. And I know ain't nobody gonna be trying to hear him or me thinking that everybody lying, but let me tell you something. When somebody talks about somebody and somebody gonna say some disrespectful and hurtful stuff like you ain't gonna never be nothing, they ain't gonna be nothing without me. Only reason why you would say that when you know you got their friends in the room and you got his best friend in the room is if you want it to be an issue. That's the only way somebody would say something like that, because I would have to be the biggest fool in the world to say something like that to a group of your people that they wouldn't come back and tell you. What type of stupid is that? And then on top of that, that's some punk stuff. I have no problem with repeating what I say. So, with that being said, let's get into the next messages. And one more thing I want to point out. In this message, Nique explains this whole 3-part series. She basically confirmed that this whole 3-part series was definitely a lie, right? Because remember, y'all started off y'all whole little thing. We got locked out of our account. We were fighting for our account. Remember that whole dramatic scene that you all created? If that was the issue, why didn't you say this to her? In this whole message, you say because of the fact you wanted something new and, you know, we wasn't growing and nah. Her focus was mainly on you. Why ain't y'all say because she locked me out my account? That's why you guys were unlinking. Why did you say that? Because you know that wasn't the issue. That was the overlay for the underlay. But it's cool. Going on with this message. Now, this is when it starts to make sense. It says, at this point, it was a lot of hurt feelings, but I was eavesdropping and heard Carmen FaceTime my mom. She mentioned how Key and Rail called her phone, Carmen's, to get to Corey while my mom was having the meeting about the contracts. And Rail said that my mom was the one that told everybody Corey said not to sign. And then went to tell her everything about King sliding in Damien's DMs. Let's stay there for a minute. Let's stay there for 1 minute. Let's just pause. Because we already know that Corey was team. The boys went to play 2K at Damien's house. You, her, and Bianca sat and talked about the situation and about my mom, and that when they were at your house, when my mom called, that King was the one who showed them how to unlink, and that they shouldn't answer none of her calls or the door when she came over to the house. And the crazy thing is that she only knew he was home because Carmen told her. And that King had been telling Damien everything within a group for months. And when y'all all sat together, it was like, I bet Janay hurt right now. So she hears all this, believing y'all fixed everything and knowing the history with her and Damien, and tried to call y'all afterwards, but no answer. And she then sent a text to Corey because she believed, Carmen, that y'all been snaking all this time. It was supposed to be sneaking, I think. That y'all was sneaking all this time. So she was hurt as well. But I'm done with it. And I wish y'all the best in everything y'all do going forward, and be great parents and friends and business partners with others going forward. It was good. It was a good ride and life changing, and I'm thankful to have known y'all. Praying hands and a heart. Now, I know y'all like, oh, that's just Airi's messages. That don't mean it's true. Let's go to her response. She says, Splain just got Damien number. He had never talked to him before this month. That's nothing to lie about. The sources are so wrong. The first time Splain talked to Damien was like 2 weeks ago. We believed in her and she talked down on us. Do you notice in that message that nothing is denied? Only thing she said is that we never talked to him before this month. She never said we never been over his house. She never said that all this information and stuff that Carmen said wasn't true. She never said Carmen lying. She said he had never talked to him before this month. That's nothing to lie about. The sources are so wrong. But then you turn around and say, the first time Splain talked to Damien was like 2 weeks ago. We believed in her and she talked down on us. now that you saw the twist in the story, now that you saw that it was actually Carmen that showed me and told me all of this stuff, now everybody that's viewing that was trying to figure out, why would she send that message to Corey talking about King? Why would she tell Corey, like, you know, King, you know, he's just using you, and, you know, if he was sneaking behind our back all that time, why would she say all of that in a message? Why was I so aggressive in trying to get to Corey, going to his house, knocking on the door? Why was I so aggressive? I was so aggressive because of the fact of what was told to me. Now, I believe it, and let me tell you why I believe it. I believe it because of the fact Damien and Corey have been talking the whole time that Corey has stepped into Houston, Texas. And Corey has been faithful in telling me almost anything about that situation that would affect me. Why would he all of a sudden stop talking to me about this situation? Remember in their video earlier, they said, well, yeah, you know, everybody was trying to figure out, like, oh, well, something must be wrong if King mad. King and Nique don't never be in nothing. King and Nique have never been in nothing publicly, because that's what we've done. We made sure that they stuff didn't go public. They was the only one that listened. They like any other couple that have issues. That's not the issue. But remember Joel's video when he was like, oh, well, you know, like, yeah, Janay said that, you know, King was violent and this, that, and other. Why would I tell Joel that? That don't even make sense. I'm just gonna be talking to Joel and just say, oh yeah, Joel, like Nique and King just violent. That don't even make sense. The reason why Joel said that is because Joel was at the house when those fights happened. But that ain't my business. We're gonna keep moving. But the issue with this whole thing is that King and Nique had been meeting with Damien and Bianca and Damien's management team. Now let me tell you something. If it's anybody in this business that work with African American content creators, I'm gonna give it to that squad, because we were all working together. I'm gonna explain that more later, but I'm gonna give it to Damien and his management team. And I ain't gonna even say his name because of the fact, out of respect, because I don't even think they say his name. He preferred to stay behind the scenes. That's cool, because he's doing a great job behind the scenes keeping up this type of foolishness. But this whole situation, this was all orchestrated. And King and Nique were pawns that was used in this whole situation, and their job was to go and get the whole group to basically follow them. Now you got to remember who they say the squad is. The squad is Key and Rel, Austin, DC, and Chris. That's the squad. The only person that he named, that I just named out of that circle, that actually had, you know, a big following as of right now is Chris. That's the only person out of this group that actually has a following is Chris. And he has a following on his own, and then he has a following with Trey. Remember in Von's video when he said we got everybody, we just waiting for a few more people? He was talking about Trey. He needed Chris and Trey to come over, because he said we got everybody. Only person that didn't go was Trey. If you look at all the videos, everybody hanging together and stuff, yeah, this was all strategic. It was a whole plan, and it was a very good play. Very good play. Clap it up for yourselves. That was a very, very, very good play. The play was to, one, in order to make something, a lie, believable, it has to have a little bit of truth, right? It has to have a little bit of truth in it. So if you go to the extent of saying like, oh, well, yeah, you know, she didn't even tell us that she had access to our channel, and she didn't even tell us she had these passwords on our channel. I mean, this two-step verification on our channel, and then she locked us out of our account. Anybody that understands how Google works and your Gmail and stuff work, that makes no sense. And I'm gonna give a shout out to Miss Royalty, her reaction channel. I watched her video and I said, thank you. She tried to ride with y'all for a minute, but she even said, no, that don't make sense, because in order for you to ask me for a code, that means you had to know that two-step verification was on there. And then Ms. Royalty, in one of her videos, she even said like, well, no, you put that on their account. They didn't know it was on their account. You put that on there because of the fact that you wanted them, you know, because they wasn't acting right. Like, that was my bullying thing that I was afraid. Nope. Because when you watch the video a little bit longer, and I showed you the old message of when she asked for her password back in May, when she asked for the code back in May, This wasn't something that was done as a punishment. This was something that was done, like Ariana said in her video. When y'all show me that y'all moving on some shady stuff, then I'm going to enforce my contract. And in my contract, there is a clause that says 2-step verification is to be placed on all channels that's signed to my network. I didn't do it at the beginning because there was no need to. And I'll break down the contract in another video, but let's go ahead and close this out because I want to wrap this thing up with Nique and King. So this is the reason why this was a problem. That's the reason why King caught my house on 1,000, because of the fact he trying to figure out, how does she know all this? And if she going to the group, telling the group that I was messing with Damien and I was on some shady stuff, that might mess up, like they said, they money. Because who gonna want to work with you if you cutting corners and doing stuff like that? And you got to understand, this team wasn't complete unless it had Carmen and Corey. That's just facts. It wasn't complete unless you had Carmen and Corey. And the way that you get Corey is a hothead. You tell him a little something, he on 1,000, he moving full frontal. And you got to remember, prior to this, King wasn't even talking to Corey. They weren't even talking. They said that Corey said that I was RTR shade and said that King and Nique, they don't really mess with him. No, it wasn't that. Bugs TV. I'm not sure what the name of your channel is, sweetheart. But when Bugs, all that stuff that he said, the Bugs out, that was true. That was true. That was true. He knew too much stuff that he wasn't supposed to know. That stuff was true. That's why everybody was looking at it and watching it like, who, what? And this had happened to us before. And I hate to even use their name, and I'm not going to use their name because of the fact they haven't said anything. But it was another couple that had joined us and that had came with us. And the same situation happened, that they got everybody's information in a group. And they basically was like, okay, now dude keep messing with us, I'm going to tell it. And King, I'll give it to him. King went and fixed that situation, talked to the guy on some man-to-man type stuff, and the situation was dead. And because of the fact, the person at that time was like, I'm going to expose everything. The fights, the drama, the relationships, anything that he knew, he said he was going to expose it. And not only that, he was going to expose that I was his manager. I was their manager. And at the time, I believed it was too dangerous for me to come out as their manager because of the fact I didn't know how people was going to take to it. So out of protection for them, that was a big secret on our squad. It was like, hey, anybody asks you who managed them, don't tell them. So this is why this whole situation is so janky and so tainted. It's because of the fact it was so much behind the scenes stuff working.